God put something on this earth so great for us. It's just.
Listen, it's cool, man. I get a puff or two, but I let wifey do her thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm a social smoker, so we put that out there.
I think that was just no, you know what I'm saying? No participation at all.
Yeah, I was totally against it, but she totally for it. So you know what I'm saying?
Drug habit.
No better peer pressure than your wife. She's sitting there like, yo, you want that?
Right.
Damn. Got us turned the fuck out our shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all going up there.
Oh yeah, we got a little young boy here. Them boy they don't believe in relationships no more.
How you mean, man? You see me?
We just don't know yet.
I just don't need to believe in you. You know what I'm saying? They do, you know.
Boom, we in here. Keep on pushing podcasts. Keep on pushing show. It's your boy Rio.
It's your boy Cod.
And we got
PD CEO, man. What's happening?
PD, the motherfucking CEO. JIG Music Group.
Word. More so known for JIG Media now. So.
JIG Media.
Yeah.
Right.
Word.
So, we brought my brother in today. This is he's basically my fucking mentor. Anything that I know about the entertainment industry, or just getting your hustle on in general, I learned from this motherfucking man on the legal side of things. And you know, I gotta get my partner in here because he got a lot of knowledge to spoil upon y'all niggas, man. And if you listen, you can learn something.
Right.
If you listen, you can learn something. So I'm gonna let my man take over. PD, if you can just give him the story of PD. Who you is, where you from, where you come from.
Alright, which one of these I'm looking at?
This one.
Alright, for sure. PD CEO, man. The name came from what I wanted to be, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to be CEO. Wasn't necessarily about music, wasn't necessarily about, photography or any of that stuff. I just know I ain't wanted to work for nobody. You know what I'm saying? So we could say I spent a lifetime working for people so I could learn how to work for myself. You know, that's the way it go. But that's me for the most part, man.
Where you from?
I'm from North Charleston.
Born and raised?
Born and raised.
I mean, if you don't mind,
in Tillman, down there on the, North Park Village it ended up being called? Yeah. That's
North Park?
Yeah.
If you, what time frame we talking, what era? I mean, if you don't mind giving out, showing your age.
I'm 41, so I can't even tell you when I lived there. Like, put it this way. Born on the project, moved to the Macon, moved to Remount, moved to Ashley Phosphate, moved to Dorchester, and then I pretty much grew up on Dorchester, down there by where the old Hardee's is, where the interstate passed by, Harvey Avenue, you know what I'm saying? Norman C2 Middle School,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And then Starling, North Charleston High. So that's what it was.
So, is there a bigger story behind why all the movement around, or that's just the way the economy had worked at the time, you know?
I mean, my parents ain't really been tied to no certain area. You know how it is. You grow up, most of your people in the project. I think my family as a whole originated on James Island somewhere. I don't know to what extent, and from downtown. So, once you got your family somewhere, then you have them family members who be like, let me see what else out there.
Right.
And they start moving around, going to different places. That's what ended up happening. So
boom. So that was it, basically that. Because I moved around a lot when I was a kid, and that was basically because we was fucking broke. So you had to move where the fucking money.
I think generally that goes across the board. You know what I'm saying?
You get your little 1 year, 2 year, at least you ride it out as long as you can. And then hey, I got the bus a move, shit like that.
Yeah, usually what that taxis will come.
So with moving around like that, did how did that affect you?
I mean, for the most part, I'm gonna be real. Like I ended up, my family big than a motherfucker. So it don't matter where I move at. You know what I'm saying? Like my family is in reach. You know what I'm saying? Like so that's what it was. Like so I always had family. It ain't necessarily been about friends.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then by the time I hit the age to actually live around people long enough to be friends, it was like cool, like they family. So it is what it is.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? That was my upbringing. I ain't have friends where we was falling out and all kind of stuff. Like you had to resolve issues.
Right.
That was what it came down to.
So what was the area like during this time? I'm guessing what, 80s, 90s,
And
70s?
we was jump up. If we had bikes, we gonna ride bikes. We gonna go to Winn-Dixie area, go to the hut, grab a shirt or something.
For the people that don't know, what's
this old school. This down Rivers Avenue, across from the Naval Hospital.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying? You gonna go to the hut, get you something to wear. You gonna go to local records. They've been in that same shopping center. Grab you something to listen to, and then shit. We wanted to go to Ashley Phosphate. We was taking the train track. You damn near catch a train up there. You know what I'm saying? Like you catch a train up there for free. They used to have the doors open. You know what I'm saying? That should be stopped for a minute. You jump on the train. Boom. We left from Dorchester Road up to Ashley Phosphate. Now you up there having a ball. Your parents don't know where you at.
Me and my wife was just talking about that shit this morning. I was like, back in my day, man, you could be out and about and around and shit, and it really ain't been no thing like that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I guess niggas just felt, I guess the parents just felt safer. They came up in a time like that.
Just be home before a certain point, before it get dark.
Shit, like I wish I would let my motherfucking kids do some shit like that right now. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
In the sense of, I'm on their ass right now, way more than I know my mama was as far as my traveling and shit.
It ain't no choice, man. It ain't no choice. But in them times it was a little bit different. It was still crazy, but it was more community.
Yeah.
That was the hustler time. That was when hustling was I won't even say respectable, but it was a respectable profession.
Right. It was a known profession in our neighborhoods.
It was noble in the sense that it gave you the opportunity to help your family get to a better position. Because when you think about a job or a career, that's what you want to happen. You don't want a job or a career and you be like, goddamn, working at Whack Arnold's and shit, and you can't really do nothing for your people but pay the bills. You want to be in a position where you can learn something, gain something, help the next generation get to where they need to go so they can go further. You can't do that with a job.
Right.
Only a career, only a trade, only something where you can really build with.
Right.
That's it.
Now, as far as getting down to like the hustle, it's like when did you actually like start putting action to like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is the career path I'm gonna take. Like
I mean,
boss mentality.
For me, I got it from my family members. They was hustlers. And you know what I'm saying? I got it from my pops, he hustled. Got it from my mama, she worked legally, she hustled. She worked home health care. So she have 5, 6, 7 patients. We going to places I never heard of,
Right.
She going to Somerville, I ain't never been there before. She going to Ridgeville, she going to this place, she going to that place.
Okay.
All over the place in the course of a day. So, you know what I'm saying? She might have worked 15, 16 hours, but that check represented 15, 16 hours.
Right.
And my pops, he ain't had no job like that, but he worked. Then when he didn't have work, they was unloading Piggly Wiggly trucks. So the whole point, you know what I'm saying, you got the dealer, you got the hard worker, you got the hustler. Because when you work in them trucks, that's a hustle.
Right.
We're going to give you a certain amount of money for however much trucks you do. You know what I'm saying? That's a hustle. So that's where I picked it up from. And from that, I started doing music. and start doing my own hustle.
You say as far as the music, like you started off like you were actually doing music yourself? Or?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So was this before we get into that,
Word.
high school? What was high school like for you?
Like, I was working all through high school. I was hustling. So high school was about being quiet, because you ain't been a loud hustler back then. That wasn't what life was about. Back then you was making your money on the low. You supposed to pull up on the block in your low car. You know what I'm saying? If you was going out, that's when you had that nice shit. But if you just dealing day to day, you want people to think you broke. That was the logic. So in high school, I just been a real quiet cat in school. Ain't nobody know nothing about me till I got in an accident in front of Stall. Not in front of Stall, in an accident in front of the bowling alley on Ashley Phosphate Road.
Brunswick?
Yeah, got in an accident in the Jeep Cherokee, me and my little brother. And then basically we got spun around. Just got the Cherokee, but we got spun around in the Cherokee. This was in 93, because the Cherokee was in 93. All the buses coming to take the students home. And niggas was like, damn, that's Warren right there. So after that, it started changing. People started knowing, getting a low grip on who I was. And then teachers started doing shit like talking shit about me, because once people start learning who you are, then people start talking shit.
Right.
At that time, I thought I had 2 kids. And I was still in 11th grade. So teacher came into class and she was like, Miss Khan, she came into class and she was like, I just found out one of my favorite students has 2 kids in 11th grade, and I can't believe this. You guys have to slow down, and you're living a dangerous life.
Teacher can?
Teacher,
Straight like that?
in front of the whole class.
That's what I was about to say, in front of the whole
In front of the whole class. But I knew that was kind of like Frank Lucas putting on a coat going to the fight.
Yeah.
Cause you ain't nobody know nothing about me. That, like, I wear Reebok's classics. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not the guy shining. So when that accident happened, everybody was like, "Oh damn, I ain't never even known this nigga had a car, was driving, was anything. He barely speak." So that changed the whole perspective in the school. But you know what I'm saying? For the most part, I just been chilling.
Did you make it out?
Oh, I was good, man.
Graduated?
I was good. I graduated out of night school.
Night school.
I ain't really, I ain't really took school seriously, man. School was just, it was kind of in between. It was keeping parents off your back, and it was what you supposed to do, because ultimately, I felt like I had a greater purpose. Like I said, I always wanted to be a CEO, so before it was PD, it was Warren Enterprises. That was just my mentality. Like, that was my thought process.
I agree with you on that point that you made about how school at that time was more like something that you did for your parents. You know what I'm saying? It really wasn't something that you took advantage of yourself or saw the worth in it at that point in time. And now as a parent, I want to make that point to any children out there that are listening. I mean, I ain't about to sit here and preach to you, man, but try to find something out in that motherfucker that you can find some interest in.
Yeah.
Because trust me, man, you can start that training at that point in time, and that can take you far in your life. You need it. You need it. You can do that and don't have to worry about some of the shit, man, that us old folks be worrying about and all of that good stuff. Not saying it's an end-all, be-all. Education never stops. It never ends.
Yeah.
There's more than one way to get an education. But shit, if you're there, man, what the fuck? Do something.
There's 1 or 2 things, man, you're gonna hear from people if they honest with you. School is one of them things you can't quit. If you quit school, you're gonna end up back in school. So, you could drop out whenever you want to drop out. 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 5th grade, 12th grade. You're going to end up back in school. Some type of school, you're going to have to end up in it. So you might as well do it to the best of your ability and get through with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the same thing with working. You either going to work when you're young or you're going to work when you're old. So if you wonder why them old people working in Walmart, bless you, or why them old people working in Church's Chicken, or McDonald's or Burger King, and you like, damn, somebody mama working it. It's a reason for that. Some people sit on the system when they're young and use the system, and then when all them kids gone and they gotta go work, the only thing they can work is them types of jobs. So just know, old and young, you either gonna work when you young or you gonna work when you old. And you can't quit school because you're gonna end up back in it.
At some point in time,
Yeah.
if you want to be something in this motherfucker.
When we got buku programs for all that, come back to school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So many of them.
They giving you free tuition now to try to take for certain courses.
Right.
Get out of school, get you a trade.
Get a fucking trade.
Even
man.
if you going to college, get you a trade. Like,
Period.
My son is he just graduated this year, and I said, man, go get you a trade.
Then go to school.
Because if you get you a trade, let's say your trade is plumbing, you know how much money you could make doing plumbing for a local company while you going to school?
Man, I'm telling you, that'll take such a big stress off you, man.
Yeah, man.
That's not to make excuses, but I swear that was one of the big reasons why I did not finish, dog. The finances was fucked up, and I had to make a decision, goddammit, and the decision I made was to go get the money.
Yeah.
So
Real
I would
life.
have loved to have graduated and got that under my belt, because I did enjoy it. I enjoy learning. That's part of what this all this shit here about.
Word.
But at the end of the day, the real world gonna come bite you in the ass, man. So set yourself up for success, man. Don't set yourself up for failure.
Yeah, man.
But my nigga graduated, fuck them crackers and all that bullshit they been doing. What PD got into after that, man?
Man, I graduated and went right back with him. I joined the military. You know what I'm saying? Listen, life been real here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Life been real. I had my son, and it was a situation where basically I'm watching myself repeat a process, and I'm not progressing. So if I feel like I ain't progressing in something, I gotta detach from it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So ain't no way me staying with my parents on the floor watching cartoons with my son. You know what I'm saying? We spending time, everything good on that respect, but you can't really respect that. Like, I can't respect that. So because I couldn't respect it, I had to get up.
Right.
And what I was doing in the street ain't been no real life. That was just some nonsense. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm at Bilo doing some nonsense while working at Bilo. You know what I'm saying? Really just setting myself up for a pattern to end up right down the road at Leeds. So it was like, well, let me join the military. My record's still clean. I'm still straight. Let me go. And boy, I signed up in June. Then we started hearing some rumors about some situations going down in November. So I told them, well, straight up, yo, you take me now, I'm gonna be gone. They took me December 26th, right after Christmas. There ain't even been no class starting until the middle of January. But they was like, yo, we gotta take this cat now, or you know, he ain't gonna be here.
Well, did the other people in that situation come out okay, or what? Did you escape?
I mean, what was coming down came down.
It came down.
You know what I'm saying? But I was already gone. I was already, you know.
Right.
Pretty much when I joined in June, I was separating myself from a lot of stuff that I shouldn't have never been involved in.
Stop it.
You know what I'm saying? So that was I thought I could sign up in June. They would have took me in June. But instead they had what they call it's like a deferred duty thing. Like you went, took all the tests, went up to Columbia, did all of that stuff, but your class wasn't ready. So they were supposed to notify me when my class was ready, and that never came. You know what I'm saying? So I went back to my regular life, you know what I'm saying, chilling until I realized, okay, this ain't gonna work out well. You know what I'm saying? You know how you could look at something, you could I deal in statistics. My wife always say, you think everything black and white. You know what I'm saying? But some things have shades of gray. But I
definitely very pragmatic.
Yeah, I definitely think worst case scenario.
Yeah.
So if I'm looking at all of these people and I'm looking at success stories and there is none, I'm not that cocky where I believe that I'm gonna be the only success story I know of.
Right.
That's a cocky motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else failing, everybody else losing, everybody else getting locked up.
But you're gonna be that one.
But I'm gonna be the one that become that guy. Like I've never been that cocky to believe that. So you know, it's like, all right, cool. Let me ride out. And the people who did, you know, who ain't have nothing else, you know, they found themselves in, you know, some crazy situations. You know.
So what was the experience like? Military life?
Military was crazy. Went up there, same shit. You know what I'm saying? Just, went up there, went to Kansas. Goddamn, I was supposed to bring my son up, so they was paying me a certain amount for having my family up there and having housing and extra money for, you know what I'm saying, food and all of that stuff. And I'm like, funny, I just told this story, man. And so I'm like, cool, I get that check.
Right.
Like, hey, that check look nice. Let me go, you know, went and got a car up there. You know what I'm saying? Like, just ball out, because I'm thinking, hey, check look nice. It's going to be the same check next month.
Right.
They was like, oh, you bringing your family up? Like, nah, I don't have nobody to babysit, so on and so forth. Took all that back.
Oh,
Took the money they gave me on the first check back. So I'm like, now I'm stressing.
Hey.
What does poverty produce? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't got no money, where the hustle come from? If you a doctor and you making plenty money, you ain't necessarily thinking about hustling.
No.
But
Some not, some are just criminally inclined.
yeah,
but
but you know what I'm saying?
The normal.
But that's the normal hustle. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's and they can find a legal version of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, a dentist could find teeth whitening as a hustle. You know what I'm saying? But, like, you know, for a poor person who feel like they don't necessarily have options, that's where an illegal hustle comes into play. Luckily now, you know, it's other options. People selling waist trainers and crab plates and so on and so forth. But before that, it was just, that scapegoat was easy to go back to the game. So
Yeah, I think social media helped out with that.
yeah. So that's what happened with me up there. Did that for a little while, then they sent me to Korea, and that kind of got me right. You know what I'm saying?
What was Korea like?
Korea was nice.
Yeah.
Then, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
now them boys seem like they're on the break of like war, but they always been on the break of war. But then it was more like party time. Like, you ain't really have as much of a threat as it seemed like it is now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it was nice, man. I ain't gonna lie, I got on the plane, I was like, damn, my pops can't pull up here, my mama can't pull up, none of my family members, I can't call nobody, like, hey, I'm in a,
You all the way out there.
Nah, you on your
you know what
own.
I'm saying? Like, then Erykah Badu came on Yayo, and that shit from the live, like, y'all, anybody watching the shit, y'all listen to that song. And imagine being on a plane thinking about yourself, being by yourself. Niggas start shedding tears. I had to wipe that shit quick. Like, you by yourself, bro. Like, that was the first time in my life I ever felt like I've been by myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that was crazy. But one thing about the military is when you take niggas out their environment, they tend to come together.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? You see a cat and he like, where you from? South Carolina. Where you from? South Carolina. Oh, shit,
That's it,
dog.
we on.
Yeah.
Hey, we over here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Almost like some prison shit. Like, yo, that
Hey man, that's how
block.
I been in college, nigga.
That's what
See,
it
I
is.
went to college.
Right.
I did that. This maturity stage.
Word.
And you matured in the military.
Yeah.
And that similarity and shit, nigga, the first day I hit Benedict campus, nigga, hey, we from Charleston. Yeah? Alright, boom. And that's who the fuck I've been with. till I left that motherfucker.
Too easy.
Not to interrupt you, but
Nah, it's all good, man. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Shit, we clicked up. It was like 2 of us from SC, 2 people from Georgia, 2 people from Tennessee. Y'all get where I'm going with this.
Right.
All Southern niggas, you know what I'm saying? Then a couple cats from New York. So it was like, it is what it is. And from that point, a lot of us went to the same place. You know what I'm saying? Further down south, and it was on.
just to add one little point while we on the subject. Speaking of maturity and maturing, the stages of our lives, man, that's kind of, my opinion, that's kind of sad, man, that the 3 major ones that young black men come up is either prison, military, or college. Like, I think we need to, somehow, somewhere, we need to add another avenue, another stage right there, man, because that's...
Or we got to start earlier. You know what I'm saying? Which I think by what you saying, because, I mean, you ain't on age with me, right?
I don't think so. I might be a few years younger than you.
So if you look
about
at...
5 years younger than you.
Yeah, so you on age with my wife. If you look at, you know, how y'all came up slightly different from the way we came up. You know what I'm saying? I was born in 79. So, like, some of y'all actually went to college. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us didn't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, I always tell people, man, like, we only like 60, 70 years out of that bullshit that they was holding us on to. So when you look at generation by generation, we learn quicker. You know, think about how many people in your generation have been from where you was from, or even Charleston. Motherfuckers from downtown never went to Somerville at a certain point in life. You wouldn't catch a downtown Charleston nigga in Somerville. It wasn't that it was impossible to drive up to exit 199, but it was just the point that people were so closed-minded that they wouldn't even take their kids to West Ashley.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was the mindset. So you would be a Charleston kid, and you would be like, where you from? And they say Somerville, or they say West Ashley, or Mount Pleasant, and it sound foreign. You know what I'm saying? So I think now, like, people building and they growing and they doing more with their kids. Like, people take their kids to the zoo now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's you.
I think that's because we the parent. We the parents now.
Exactly, and that's the point. We realize what we had a glimpse of and what it did for us, and we try to give our kids multiple looks so that they could grow up and have a broader scope than we had.
Yeah, baby, you got options, man.
Word.
And that's basically what the point I was trying to add, man. You got options, man. This is, you know, one, fuck that jail shit.
Word.
Yeah,
Take that off the board altogether.
Yeah. 2, college, that shit cool, but I mean, there's pros and cons to everything.
Yeah.
So know what the fuck you getting into before you make that decision, man.
I went into the military because it seemed like the only option that wasn't a bill.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like all of that shit just sound like a bill to me. You know what I'm saying? When you tell me that I'm gonna put you in this amount of debt to start off, and by the time you finish this, you're gonna have this amount of debt
with no guarantee for a job.
Yeah, that just sounds like a bill to me. And you know what I'm saying? Me thinking, I'm like, damn, like I'm living in my parents' spot. I got a kid already. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to build my life, so I'm already sitting in a deficit because I done graduated and I ain't got the bread I felt I should have. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I wanted to start a business. I ain't have no money to start a business. So the only thing I could do is continue what I was doing and hope that I avoid the traps to be able to start a business, only for a motherfucker to ask me where you got the money from, and then take my money and put me somewhere. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, ultimately, it was always just a trap. And it was like, all right, well, this seemed like a viable option. I could listen to a motherfucker here and there. Why not? The kids in the schools that always had the new tennis shoes, their parents been in the military. Them kids that always been dressing and looking fly in my day, their parents been in the military.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that, to me, looking at my son, I'm like, I I gotta make sure you straight, and they look like they straight.
Military, how long you like served with that?
9.5 years, man.
9.5 years.
Yeah. 9.5 years, one marriage, second kid. That's the one who just graduated.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I didn't have what other people had. Other people had where they stayed somewhere for 2-3 years and then they left, or stayed somewhere for 4 years. Some people stayed in one place for a whole career. With me, Kansas, 1.5 years. Korea, yeah. Texas, yeah. While I was in Texas, deployed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
PLDC. Then I re-enlisted to get to Georgia. Went to Augusta, Georgia. As soon as I got in Augusta, Georgia, deployed. Kuwait and Iraq. You know what I'm saying? Then I came home and it was time to re-enlist again, and they would just drop the orders. All right, we just got back in March. We going back in August.
Hey man, fuck it,
I
man.
can get out in May.
Man. I'm sorry, my nigga. You done kill somebody over there?
Did what I had to do.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what it was, man. Like,
Right.
that was my life. I was moving, and my sons was getting old. They ain't have no influence from their father. And I'm just watching that, like, all right, so you taking care of home, you paying the bills, but I don't know you. So that started to bother me, because I watch older military people who kids ain't gave a fuck about them. Because they was like, shit, you pay the bills, but I don't know you. Why you trying to talk to me now? You know what I'm saying? You ain't been around, like, you ain't did nothing for me, you ain't raised me, you ain't put me on no park, you ain't throw no ball with me, you ain't did nothing with me. So you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like,
I believe that's natural, man. I don't even think that that's like something that they intending to do. Is that if you treat your child like that, the consequences of that is adult is not gonna fuck with you.
Right.
yeah.
Like, that's just the way that shit rolls. So
When you look at your profession and you think about, with me out of this, how is my, because they create a situation. The government always gonna create a situation to make you feel like you need them. Whether it be welfare, whether it be military, whatever the situation is, we gonna make you feel like you need us. So a military person is thinking, if I leave this, you gotta think about what they came from.
Right.
I came from hustling, I came from this, I came from that. If I leave this, I'm gonna be right back where you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the logic.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? Like, you taking away
inception, baby.
your level of uncertainty is high. So you know what I'm saying?
Especially as a young black man.
Exactly.
It's all on you, baby, and you ain't got. You talk about feeling alone.
Yeah. But I was like, man,
feeling on you, man.
I had to think about the fact that I was raising young black men. So, you know, how they gonna feel being alone? You know what I'm saying? Like, money don't mean nothing.
Nah, they don't.
You know what I'm saying? So I got out, and you know what I'm saying? I had my kids, I had, you know, my marriage that was falling apart, where it had already fallen apart. You know what I'm saying? Just the distance was keeping us together, because, you know, we was, every time things was going bad, like, all right, I gotta go.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, that situation ended up folding. Me and my boys got closer. I raised them, did what I had to do with them, and was back in Charleston.
And when you hit Charleston, what was going on, baby? Because I'm guessing you once you finish your last enlistment, you said, "Fuck it, let me come home."
Yeah, I came home. Started rocking with my cousin. He had opened Infinite Records here.
So alright. So this is the point in time where music is becoming an option.
This is when it started.
I mean, it's always been a part of your life, but now this is when you're going to put the plan into play.
This one it started to pay, if that makes sense. It started to pay a little bit. Well, actually, it started to pay a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because I was rocking with a family member, and that family member had that check. You know, we done seen that before with different artists here. The family member got that check, and they spending that check, and it just look like they the richest people in the world. You know what I'm saying? But when you find out what's behind that check, whole studio shut down, fed tape on it, and people looking at you like you involved, like you had something to do with that. Only thing saved me is a DD-214, which is military discharge paperwork. So I can't be doing this over here,
Yep.
and over here with the government doing this over here. And once I realized that, I was like, damn, man. Nigga came home, same shit I was trying to avoid, got caught right into that shit. And that's when I was like, all right.
Okay, hold up. Before we move on, you just brought up a nice little thing I would like to talk about.
All right.
Which is the drug game in the music industry. Now, the history that you get, some of the biggest labels have been started with fucking drug money.
Word.
So why the fuck is it that... Oh, damn, boy, I'm sorry. Anyway, fuck it. Why is it that the Charleston rapper drug money ain't good enough than the New York rapper drug money? What the fuck, man?
Because you gotta think about where you are.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You in the Bible Belt. You in the holy city. For one, they don't want to see you come up, period, unless you stepping up on a table to get sold at the market. But when you make a come up and you start doing well, like you done, a lot of things you'll see here, you'll see a lot of things like this in Charleston. You'll see new construction on a building. And then they start building and they get finished. And you will never see anybody move into that building during this time. The reason why is because somebody took their money, invested it in a family member. Let's say they had a hair salon, beauty salon, whatever the case may be. And they started building. And then people start asking questions. And those questions lead to conspiracy charges. And then that new construction just sit there until it become old. You see what I'm saying? Because technically it's evidence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what you run into a lot here, because these people try to keep their people in check. The same reason why they got Charleston Strong written downtown.
Yeah.
It was a way to keep their people in check. Like, we don't want y'all riding. We don't want y'all doing that crazy. You know what? We'll convict an officer just so y'all leave our trillions of dollars of money alone.
And I got to kind of correct that. They didn't even convict the officer. It really was a mistrial, and his dumb ass convicted himself. After the mistrial, he said, all right, let me just go ahead and plead not guilty. I don't know why his dumb ass did that. Just speaking in a legal sense. Right. You already fucking got him hung one time, brother. That should tell you that they sympathize with you. Fuck it, run it again. But he didn't do that. He went on and pleaded guilty, got his dumb ass 20-something years. Now he want to try to fight the shit, but fuck that. We ain't letting his ass out. But
Word.
Continue, brother.
But that's just what it was. You know, that situation in my life taught me a lesson. Like, you know, if you don't want to be where you was, don't keep going back to where you were. And you know, to some people that might sound negative. That might be a statement that people use and say, oh, well, you a sellout. I don't think you a sellout if you taking care of your seeds. My bad. If you still hustling and I don't want to hustle, more than likely it's best for me to keep you out of my vehicle.
Pretty fucking much.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna have certain things that fit your uniform that I don't want around me or my family members. And it's not a negative thing, it's just a real life thing.
It is what
you know
it
what
is.
I'm saying? Like,
and as the,
you know.
And as the hustler, you should have respect.
You should understand it.
For that individual. The individual is a civilian. Don't get that man fucked up and none of that bullshit.
Word. When I pull up, let it be on neutral ground. We at your mama house. You should be straight at your mama house. I should be straight at your mama house. We sit down, eat some dinner, chill out, joke, laugh, trip, whatever. And you go to your job, I go to mine. But they don't cross paths.
No, I just brought that little discussion up about that shit because you know, we know the game, man, and
That's why they got the hip hop cops in New York now.
Yeah, right.
They realized that New York was letting too many. They was getting too many Jay-Z's.
Right.
That's the place where you can come and hustle and goddamn get into the music game and become. Nah, we can't have these niggas. Bobby Smurda, we need to lock you up.
and that also is leading to part of the decay of the industry as we speak.
Yeah.
Most of the artists that you like is fucking K stuff. I mean, I'm saying I like most of the artists that I like.
Yeah.
Case the fuck up. They ain't able to do shit.
Yeah. That's the game and that's the story of Charleston. If we see you getting a little bit ahead in the music game, we're gonna start putting paper behind getting you out the way.
That's their thing, fellas.
And that's
When
what
you
they
on the game. That's what they going to do.
That's what they did. You start out of nowhere, starting to wonder why you a target, and you become a target by people who matter, not people online, but by people who matter, people who can literally change your address.
Right.
And they do it.
Well,
They love to do it. They wake up and they make careers off doing it.
Why I gotta move out of this apartment complex?
Right.
Well, you gotta move out of this apartment complex because we heard about a whole lot of activity around your place. There probably ain't been no activity. Probably been a holiday or some shit, but you know, it's our property, we have the right to tell you to move. You see what I'm saying? They start messing with you, so now you need more money and you off your game. When you off your game, you out here hustling stupidly. You out there doing things you wouldn't normally do, taking deals you might not have normally took. And now we got you.
Yes, sir.
So that's what people do. They get you confused and then they take advantage of your confusion. So for me, I went to customs brokerage. I went door to door.
I
Yo,
tried that shit. That shit did not work for me.
Yo, boy.
I need a job. Here's my resume. Boom. I need a job. Here's my resume. I did that for about good 3 weeks. People who called me was customs brokerage. I didn't know what the hell that was. Never heard of it. But I did it for 5 years successfully. No problems until the recession.
So, when the shit went down, Feds fucked up that music situation. So you went right back into your own situation, or what was the game plan at this point?
When I had that going on, I was running one label, but I still had my label. I still had JIG.
Alright.
So, you know, I kept the two worlds separate because what I was building was more family based and it was more based on, like, my little brothers was involved, my little cousins was involved. So it's more or less like this is a family operation. And even though the other one was too, these people that I groomed versus people who groomed me.
Right.
See, you gotta look at, like they say, you gotta check your OG.
Right.
So if my OG taught me how to hustle, if my OG taught me how to shoot, if my OG taught me how to set people on fire, and I don't want my young G's to know that, then I gotta change the mission. So that was the thought process, like, we can do this music shit. Like, music is easy. These cats got talent just like anybody else got talent. Why we can't take this path instead of that one? It's a little slower, but you know what I'm saying? If you hit, you hit.
Right.
Motherfucking lottery, baby.
You know, like, truth be told, the drug game ain't no different. Like, what make you think all these people who got a plug, everybody got a plug, raise their hand?
Yeah.
Niggas ain't got no fucking plug.
It ain't fucking possible.
They don't
It's not
have
possible.
a plug. That's the point. That's the reason why it's only one BMF. It's more stories, but it's only one specific BMF. You dig what I'm saying? Because everybody ain't got a plug. That's like hitting in the music game.
Yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying? If you get a plug, that's the equivalent to getting a record deal. And none of y'all ain't got that. You know what I'm saying? So the question is, where do I want to live on this pyramid scheme? Because the middle be alright, the bottom is terrible, and if you on the street, you know you on the bottom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, it ain't, and the you rising up on a pyramid is damn near impossible. The best you can do is the middle.
Yeah, it's designed for it to be like that, baby.
Yeah, so how long you want to stay on that pyramid and try your luck? You know?
Talk to us about your experiences running a local label. You know, that type of shit, man. That life.
Man, when I was in the military, I was in Fort Hood, Texas. Met some cats who did screw tapes. And them cats was clearing like 20, 30 grand a month off of freestyle tapes. That's taking somebody else's beat, freestyling over it, screwing it, and putting it in the store. Mom and pop stores. You know, for people who don't know about mom and pop stores, it was the way you bought music back then. So
local records.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
Manifest.
Texas, man, they had fan support to the point where they could get that money. And it was easy, man, and they owned their own studios. They had just like this room, that was the studio. You know what I'm saying? So think about it, everybody making money, everybody shining, everybody living good, and that's off of music. So when I seen that shit, of course, I started taking the game from them, started learning the game from them. And then I got my own equipment, got the knowledge from them, came here, started doing my thing. I don't know why, but instantly, like, you know, it was nothing but hate here. You know what I'm saying? Like, to this day, I don't truly know why.
Yeah.
All the way to the point where my own cousin, when I told you, you know what I'm saying, we get up in the morning, we go to local records, we go there, you know what I'm saying, like that same cat, me and him every day, and together, that was our routine, that was how we ran on the weekend. You know what I'm saying, like, he had a DVD out that was showcasing rappers. Man, I don't think this really right for you and your team. I don't really think this one really for y'all. He did like 5 of them. You know what I'm saying? So I realized, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this ain't something that's gonna be. It's not gonna go the way I think it's gonna go in this city. If I can't even get, you know, my own parents to go to the store and just buy their son shit for support. No knock on them, they ain't listen to the music, but if my son put something in the store, I'm gonna go get that motherfucker. It's just my mindset, you know what I'm saying? Even if it's just for decoration.
Yeah.
Shit, you know, that's just my mindset. You know, the prom picture up for decoration. The Pluma up for decoration.
I spent a lot of time and money.
Money.
Dedication.
Some of your money. You know what I'm saying? Logically, if I'm using your electricity.
Let me check out my investment. Like,
exactly.
What the fuck?
So, but you know, I learned, like a lot of people learn here doing music, that without support, you start to feel a certain way.
Yeah. Like,
and when you feel a certain way, what I learned, hindsight, is you start hindering your progress. Because then you start talking about everybody coming at you instead of doing what you've been doing to make them come at you in the first place.
Right.
See, if you ain't been causing no harm to people, if you ain't been wronging nobody, that means it was jealousy and envy. So instead of you continuing on your path, now you addressing the jealousy and envy. So now you go in the booth, jealousy and envy, they coming at me. You know what I'm saying? Instead of making what you used to make, which had them jealous and envious of you in the first place. So it's a whole process, and then you start to understand, okay, hindsight, you say, damn, I spent so much attention looking at negativity that I, in turn, became negative. And you can't prosper positively by being negative. Simple. You know what I'm saying? You cannot get out the red while being positive. Being negative. You can't do it. And you know, while you in it, you feel justified because you like, I ain't did nothing to them. But the reality of it is, it doesn't matter what you do to people. It matters what they perceive. So if they see you as a threat in any way, shape, or form, whether you was coming to help them or not, you a threat. So that was if I had to give a summary of my music career, that would be it. I was a threat to people. I was a threat to the man who did artwork, even though I barely knew how to do artwork, because I barely knew how to do artwork. I couldn't learn because there was no YouTube necessarily,
At that point,
and me asking the man who did artwork only made that person an enemy to me. I couldn't learn from the studio because even me paying the studio to teach me the new stuff that was going on in the studio made the studio man my enemy because I'm trying to take from his business. You see what I'm saying? And like, that's what started happening. And you started to realize, like, anytime they see you trying to do something that's out of their system, oh, they just like the government. You can't do that shit. You can't go trying to buy from these factories out of the U.S., not without us putting a tariff on your ass. So it's the same thing locally. You can't go trying to do artwork here. Only one person do artwork here. Only one studio we respect.
Yeah.
Only one producer we want to buy beats from. Only one videographer we like at a time. And only 5 artists we gonna fuck with for 20 years. Whether they doing something or not. We only rocking with 5 of these artists for 20 years. And that's what it was, man. Like, you just learn real fast that what you was doing, no matter what you did, no matter who you work with, no matter how you work with them, you wasn't going to get ahead here.
And that's fucking sad, man. But I agree with my brother 100% with damn near every point that he touched on just now. So to those listening, let's change that, man. Like,
yeah, man.
Just because shit is fucked up, I don't see why people feel as though the fucked upness has to continue.
Yeah, you need to carry
Like,
it out.
that shit is not in their power to rectify what the fuck going on, man. It's just, man, open your mind, man. There's more than one thing going on, dog, and you support with dollars. That's just the fucking facts of the shit, man. Let's get down to the real nitty gritty.
Right.
If you want to say you support the artists and you supporting the music scene, you got to spend your paper, man. You got to come out to the shows. You got to charge. You got to support, man.
And if you an artist, be an artist. Don't be an artist today and then not an artist tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Because I started supporting you today, and then tomorrow I come looking for you, and oh man, I ain't did nothing, and I don't know how long.
But that once again, I just got to interject. I'm sorry, because I'm a motherfucking artist. So let's go. That comes back to the monetary support, man, of a motherfucker out here spending $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 on a project, and is not getting no return on investment. That shit is going to suck the soul out you, bro. Like, I don't give a fuck. You a human being.
Definitely, but you a artist.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? You talking about?
We need another another entity in this equation, man, because the artist can't be taking no $10,000 loss.
You can't be.
Because he cannot continue to be an artist after you take an L like that.
But you already know how I work. Like, my artists ain't necessarily took that loss. You know what I'm saying? But when it came time for my artists to work like they should have been working, they wasn't doing that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't never put it on them. I put it on myself because I created that environment for them. You know what I'm saying? It's no different, and no disrespect to the artist, but it's no different than a child. If you give a child everything, they have nothing to work towards. If I'm already wearing Jordans goddamn my whole life, what else I need?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you already bought the car, not the car that I needed to get around, but the car that I actually wanted. If I actually got the car that I want, why am I going to work towards buying the car that I want? I already got it. You can't give me everything and expect me to work hard to get everything. Like, that's unrealistic. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what I did. And I think I was just talking to Crime from NBA Records. We had this conversation the other day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's what a lot of us did with labels back then. We put our artists in positions where, you know, they ain't really have to do much but show up and be an artist. And as a result, you know, people get lazy.
Yeah. That's a message.
Can't get mad at a person for being lazy if you help them become lazy.
Gotta put in the work, ladies.
Don't give them the dope to smoke and then get mad at them for being a dope fiend. Like, that's unrealistic. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you gotta recognize what you're doing to people in life. And I think a lot of people don't do that. They don't think about that. But that's what I did with artists. I put artists in a position where they ain't have to pay for videos, they ain't have to pay for beats, they ain't have to pay for recording, they ain't have to pay for art, they ain't have to pay for the things to be put together, they ain't have to do nothing except show up. And then they were supposed to, in turn, do their end of the bargain. When the product is finished, go do interviews, go perform, go promote, go push.
Market yourself.
And they didn't want to do it.
And that's pretty much the result you gonna get.
And I kept dumping money in for a good 8 to 10 years until my family was like, hey, well, we doing something different this week. And that's what it was.
And I guess, and that's when the switch from more musical based to, you know, this is just my opinion, my observation. The switch from the musical base to the more the visual photography and, you know, more emphasis on the videos and things like that, and just expanding the brand took place at this time. Music took a back seat.
Yeah, I was so bored with having nothing to do, cause I'm a hustler. I gotta move. I gotta work. I ain't really trying to sit around. So if I'm calling you and down there gotta kidnap you for you to work, obviously one of us doing something wrong. You know what I'm saying? So it got to a point where I say, you know what? I'm gonna put out a DVD promoting the artist, you know, called Nobody Grinds. Nobody Grinds Like Us. And I put it out, pressed up a lot of them, pushed it in the clubs, pushed it everywhere, and then people started hitting me up like, yo, I want to be on the next one. And then it got to a point where I done turned down like 10 people for being on the next one, because it was just something I did for my artists, that I was like, you know what? Let me call them people back. Yo, you can get on, it's $35. We're gonna promote you. We're gonna push a low promo video for you. And that's what we started doing, man. And that started taking over where the artist was.
All right.
Instead of spending money, I was making money. You know what I'm saying? Instead of me having to chase people, people was calling me down and chasing me. And it was night and day that it went from me providing services for free to people calling me to provide a service. You see what I'm saying? For a fee.
It started making sense as a business.
Yeah, so then it was like, all right, why did we take this detour of not making any money from this shit? It didn't make sense. I couldn't make it make sense. Because if I get you and I invest in your talent, because you telling me you an artist and you really love this and you into this. This is your dream. And I really invest into it. Give you everything you need. You say you love everything that you're being given, and then we finish the product, and you say you love the finished product, and then I don't hear from you for months. And then this process keeps repeating. Obviously, something is wrong in this equation.
Yeah.
So, you know, and even when I went and tried to do the same thing with models, it worked out the same way, and it was like, all right, it's the people. Obviously, you can't motivate people on a long-term standard to be able to get them to do what's beneficial for them. But every time I turned on the camera, that motherfucker turned on. Every time I say, yo, camera, let's jump in the car and go do this job, it was ready to work.
Yeah.
No problems. And I don't know. I like a life with no problems, man.
We done spoke to PD about coming up in the Charleston area, man. You know, basically coming up around this place, man. There's a lot of hustle. This is a street city, man. I mean, a lot of people don't know. They look at Charleston and then they slavery, that imagery.
Yeah, the whole downtown.
But it's a whole nother Charleston.
Yeah, man.
And there's a lot of people out here, man, that's hurting and just trying to make it, man. And we hurting ourselves, man.
Yeah, it's a different level of survival, man. You know, if you come from up north, you probably up north, y'all, they got a certain lifestyle that's going on up there. But they don't, you know, their lifestyle was seen as more mainstream. We were seen more as country. You know what I'm saying? So you got to think about that stigma. Even when you go to school, you see that stigma, right? Because if you tell somebody you from up north, they have a certain view of you than if you tell them you from down south. And those stigmas is where the problems come from. You know, you see a white guy, he look a certain way, that's a redneck.
Yeah.
That's a certain stigma. You see a black guy, he dressed a certain way, oh man, he's from the streets, he's this, he's that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a stigma. So we as people, we deal in these stigmas and stereotypes all the time. And it either makes life harder or it makes life easier. You know what I'm saying? So I be around family members who, they get out their car and close the door, they don't even lock it. And that to me is foreign, just to tell you about my city. Because that's how we started getting around at one point in time. We went from taking bikes to taking your car.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If we needed to get up the road real quick, by the time you done report and talk to a police officer, we already where we was going. We going right to Stardust, man. We already at Stardust. Come get your car.
Fuck you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, certain people ain't have to live certain lives, so they don't understand the stigma that comes with it. Everybody got struggle. Everybody had to hustle. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody had to work hard depending on who you are and what you do. If you a rich person, your work hard might have been your dad made you take the trash out. If you a poor person, your work hard might mean you had to go outside for 8 hours a day begging for money just to go get some groceries to be able to take care of home. So it all just depends, man, and that's what we represent. People who try to build a better life for themselves. You know what I'm saying? And every time you try to build a better life for yourself, even in an industry that was your people and people who look like you locally, they kept tearing you down.
And that's sad now. That's the major point that I would like to get out of this conversation, man, is that, man, these is motherfuckers that we grow up with. And it's just, I mean, it's a simple equation, man. There's power in numbers, man. So the people outside of this city see the unity amongst us and see motherfuckers interacting and doing that right there. It creates attention. The name of the game is attention. You trying to make you know, they gonna spend their money with the story. Everybody looking for a story. They looking for something to damn be inspired by.
Yeah.
So there ain't no one motherfucking man gonna walk into the old west town and shoot all the bad guys and walk away with the bitch, man. That's not reality.
Word.
So, but other than that, the hustle never fucking stops. That's the second point I want to get out ahead. My man switched that shit up and made something work for him, and he's probably shit. I mean, he's doing better than any more.
Way better.
Once again, my observation, my opinion. My man doing this motherfucking thing on a whole nother level compared to when I first met him in the situations that was going on in that era. So you stay dedicated to your grind and shit worked out.
Like I said earlier, man, you can't make something positive out of something negative. And that goes to energy, that goes to everything. You know, I got rid of the plan that wasn't working. But I still had the negativity around me, so it was still doing the same thing that the plan was doing. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get rid of that plan that wasn't working. I had to get rid of all the negativity that came with that. And I had to totally separate myself from people who didn't have the same goal as me. And when I did that, I started seeing shit change overnight. More money, better offers. Instead of guns in my face at a video shoot, doing real estate shoots. Instead of, you know what I'm saying, living in just a low apartment, we was able to go rent a house. You know what I'm saying? Instead of living in the house that we was living in, you know what I'm saying, we was able to buy a home. Instead of just like on every level, I seen my life change on every level just by getting rid of all the negativity around me, whether it be your best friend, your mama, whoever it is. Get rid of all the negativity around you and you'll see positive things start to come. That's the story of my life right there. Every time I got rid of negative things, positive things started to come into play. And the negative things was temporary. It was as long as I was dealing in that mode. As soon as I got rid of it, nothing but positives around me. It been nothing but energy.
And that's what the fuck we came here to hear, baby. Keep on pushing podcast, man. It's your boy Rio, it's your boy Kai. We was here with my man PD, the CEO.
Man, get into your raw.
Hey, man, I appreciate you coming through, man. Like I say, I learned a lot from this guy, man. Just sit back and observing, becoming more professional with my shit. Cause all us got dreams, man. All us got aspirations. All us want to do something, man. But it steps to this shit.
It is.
And you got to knock down each one. This very detail-oriented thing. Yeah. And then past that, once you get that in order, it's not overnight, man. That motherfucking shit you see on TV, man, that shit is manufactured. It's a fantasy manufactured for your destruction, in my opinion. So if you follow that up, you headed down the road. You just see they had the motherfucking nightclub in Greenville. Young lady got killed. Another security officer got killed.
Yeah.
Behind a fucking chain.
Shit was crazy, man.
Behind a reputation that you gotta uphold. You know, you got to be that killer nigga because in that rap song that you made, you said you that killer nigga. And if you don't keep that dumbass cycle moving, then you not a real nigga and motherfuckers ain't gonna rock with you. But you see a whole rat ass nigga named Tekashi 6ix9ine, probably the biggest rapper. Ain't no problem. That nigga the biggest rapper in the game right now, not paying attention to none of your rules. It's genocide, fellas. You set yourself up for failure, man. And you on the losing side of the equation for what?
If you just want to sacrifice your life, I mean, Breonna Taylor killer still walking.
Yeah, do something fucking positive. Do something good,
George
man.
Zimmerman still walking. You know what I'm saying? If you just want to give away your life, you know what I'm saying? At least
for the betterment of the people. I dig that. I'm with you on that, brother.
If that's just the logic, man, you know, do better for yourself, man.
Shit. And on that note, man, keep on pushing. We out. Y'all have a good day.